Yeah. At least you can see.
Hello, guys. This is So Like You Know, the podcast your mother warned you about. I'm Bo.
I'm JP.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me make sure that. Say that again.
And I'm JP.
It works.
I'm
Okay, cool. I had it scrolled over, so I couldn't see. But, alright, guys. Glad to see people here and just enjoying everything you possibly can. And the chaos that is 2020 right now. Because, yeah, it is extreme. But
super volcano.
yeah. Well, I mean, we're in the secondary ash zone, so we'll be fine. We'll be fine as long as Yellowstone is not extremely explosive. Hi, Liz.
Hello.
Hello. So, as you know, we are So Like You Know, the podcast your mother warned you about. But make sure you follow us. We do a live show Thursdays, 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. Hi, Melissa. Nice to see you in here. What are we talking about? Oh, 9:30 Mountain Standard Time right here on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, all at SLYK Radio. Sorry if my face seems very red. I'm not drunk. I'm extremely sunburned because I had a fantastic week. So, very outdoor activity-ish. Good stuff. But,
Fell asleep nude in the sun.
oh, yeah. No, just... It was a good thing that, like, the tip just followed the sun, so it's just the top that's sunburned.
It's just like, I don't know why I'm burning. I've been putting on lotion. This is Crisco.
Yeah, that happened once. So I had a family member suggest that, they suggested that it was like, yeah, if you want a bit of a suntan, but you don't want to get sunburnt, put on olive oil. So instead, I was sunburnt and I smelled like Italian food. So...
Are you guys cooking food?
Yeah, just a tip. Liz says, you know what company would do well this year? A company that can put people into hibernation. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
For my extreme bonitis.
Hibernation for your extreme boner, yep. That's weird. I haven't looked at these things in forever. Okay, go back to show notes. But as you know, we always like to start out our show with the intro to the craft brew.
In review.
So what are we drinking, Mr. Pizzle?
Tonight we are drinking PB&K from Four Sons Brewing. It is a sour with 7.9 ABV. I couldn't really find a description for it. So...
We will be your descriptors.
Hold on, there's a small one. A sour blonde brewed with black currants and peanuts.
Peanuts? Cool. Well, I'm excited. Like, I saw this one sitting on the shelf and I was like, yes! That one! Yeah.
Did you see Pete there today or no?
No, he wasn't there yet. He was probably working the evening or in the back.
I mean, I showed up around 6.
And when did I get there? 6:30? So maybe that's right when he headed out. But yes, so we are glad you guys are here to join us and talk about other kinds of crazy bullshit. But moving forward, we got the Slick Feed.
Where we geek on your week.
So we all got all kinds of crazy news coming out. The thing that surprised me, in everything else that is happening in the world right now, COVID is still a thing. So let us not forget that while we're trying to be safe. Yes, surprisingly enough, it is. There's been 20,000 new cases of COVID in the last 4 days alone. I'm sure you guys...
In the U.S.
In the U.S., yes. For obvious protesting reasons. So there's only so far you can distance while you're doing all that. But the cases are skyrocketing, and that's just how it's going to be while people are fighting for their rights. But in the midst of the COVID chaos, a medical college in India called the Meerut Medical College was walking across campus with some blood samples that were tainted with the COVID. And some monkeys stole it. Yeah. So, 12 Monkeys is starting. and amongst with everything else. This, like, is it just me, or is 2020 starting to feel like some sort of D&D campaign? I turned them up, Lissa.
Okay. So I was gonna say, I was like, can everyone else hear me? I'm like, I will turn up my gain if that is necessary.
Yeah, I got you.
But Bo has that.
Word.
But look at these, macaques.
They so cute. Liz says, please let there be a good part of 2020. Yes. As long as our government starts caring about us, if you guys listen to the end of the show, you know they don't. We might. We just might. But so it's been pretty crazy. But yeah, so the monkeys stole the blood samples of COVID. So
which is weird. Well, like, I don't understand why. Because maybe people aren't feeding them, and they're just stealing stuff that other humans have.
So in India right now, because of the lack of human presence on the streets, a lot of the wildlife, because they're far more involved with the wildlife than we are. There's a lot more of it.
Far more.
Yeah, is coming back more into the city areas. So
they're angry. They're just like, hey.
They are. Have you seen some of the videos? They're getting pushier. Like, they're running out and they've been attacking people. Not like biting them, but they're running up and punching people off their mopeds and like going after them. So they're getting strangely aggressive. Sup, Eric? Good to see you. So yeah, monkeys. Unfortunately, at this point, it doesn't seem like there's any evidence that monkeys can get and or pass COVID. But at this point, there's already been, I believe there's 2 cases now of dogs that have COVID-19. So it is transferable to animals. So we'll see. Well, the first one was, they think it is. The second one is for sure. It's a German Shepherd. A few days ago they found him. So,
poor bud.
Yeah, but he's doing well. So just so everyone knows. Liz says, yes, for the monkeys, they haven't been fed, so they're stealing what they can. Everyone gets hangry. No doubt. Sean, Planet of the Apes. Yeah, it's coming.
Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape.
We're going to come around the corner. It's just going to be half the Statue of Liberty sticking out of a, edge of a cliff for some reason. I never understood that part of the scene. Like, maybe it washed off of the island. I think it was a
huge tidal wave.
And just took it and shoved it. I guess that's possible. But who knows? The world is crazy, and crazy things are happening. In the midst of the crazy things, we do have to respect PlayStation, because they were planning on doing a release and giving us the full specs, the full layout, and everything we ever wanted to know about the PS5 that is coming out very soon.
June 4th, they said?
Yep.
Originally?
AKA today. So... yeah, so we ended up missing that, but they did do a post saying that in the midst of everything that's happening in the world right now, that they're going to push it off. So, which is fair, and I'm happy they did. It's nice that they are in tuned with their community and not just about the money. Which
in light of everything that is happening around the world right now, they're just like, you know what? We're not that important. Yeah. We're just gonna scoot that down the line.
Yep, very much so. Liz says, we're laughing now, but that might be what's in store for July. Or possibly the giant Empire State-sized asteroid that's going to be coming, flying close to the Earth in July as well.
We're fine. We'll be fine. Okay.
Also, a lot of earthquakes have been possibly linked to activity for Yellowstone National Park and the supervolcano there.
We're a couple hundred years overdue. That's fine.
Yeah, things happen.
It's okay. It's fine.
Oh, shit. What's that coming out now? Spaceballs!
Every generation thinks that we're in the end game. They want to be the important ones. We're fine.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we've made it to the end a few times now, so I'm pretty confident that we're okay. As long as everyone works together, we'll be okay, I should say. You know how it goes. What's a bot? We can add bots to the chat? That's fudged. What happens if I click it?
On Twitch?
No, on Restream.
Hmm.
Oh.
Because Twitch can kind of get out of hand, so like mods
Oh,
definitely
dude,
help.
they can get totally insane. They're bonkers.
Do we have rules set up on Twitch that they have to follow us for a certain amount of time before they can post something?
No. That's why we get some weird comments every once in a while.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if there are rules, I don't know much about Twitch. In all fairness, I haven't. When I use it, it's just turn it on and throw some crap on there, and then go walk away from it. So, hey man, if anyone is like, hey, Twitch, do Twitch this thing, we'll do it. We'll learn some stuff. Yeah. But speaking of learning things, Destiny, learn more.
I have played Destiny as much as I can, and I don't know much about this character.
Which is fair. I mean,
Because
after
initially, when I thought like this character was the Drifter, I thought it was that one woman at the end of Destiny 1's like story campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But it's this gentleman. I don't know who this is. This beautiful gentleman right here.
He looks like a pirate who may have gonorrhea on his fingers. I know that's not a real thing.
Seems to be like a warlock.
That's my guess. I don't know much about him, but I mean, it was ominous enough as far as the scene goes to make it be like, "Oh, that could be interesting." At the same time, I know I'm missing hundreds of hours of Destiny game time to get back into it and figure out what the heck is going on in that universe right now.
Right?
So, I'm pretty sure the last time I played Destiny was when you and me played together. Yeah.
Oh, that's when I had like the special edition Destiny.
Well, you still have it.
But it was just so like mired in like microtransactions and everything else. I was just like, I didn't get any satisfaction I did from like Destiny 1.
Oh yeah.
It was just like, oh my god.
It was one of those
Right?
things.
Like you can get cool stuff, but you gotta pay for it.
It's the same problem with WoW, where you end up going to play and like everyone is like geared up to the tits, but they have absolutely no ability to play. And so, yeah, you just get rolled real bad. So, I don't know. It's one of those things that every time I play any game, including the new Star Wars game, not Battlefront. Shit. Well, either way. That one. I end up drifting away so fast because people can pay for the best freaking gear, but, and it pushes me out every time. But, whatever. That's just how it's going to be. We can do our best to bitch about it and complain all we want, but really it comes down to the game developers and how greedy they're going to be. Thank you, Rockstar, for being a solid group of individuals who put out games that show what the least or the worst individuals can be capable of.
I don't know. I still think that's EA with like FIFA Online.
Well,
and like their card packs that they can just like, oh yeah, you can get the best player, but he may not be shiny. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? In card packs.
Yeah, it's rude. Oh, that is so good. I'm so happy with this beer.
I like it.
I do too. All right, so the last kind of big thing that happened as far as the nerd community. Launch it! Send it, boy. So SpaceX launched. Finally. So happy about that. So
It only needed a second go around.
It did. Did you get a photo for SpaceX? I feel like I'm saying SpaceX. Which doesn't sound any different, so, gee willikers. But, so SpaceX on Saturday, after a failed launch on Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday, and on Saturday at 1:22 Mountain Standard Time, it was able to launch and actually make it into the sky, the beautiful event. And after, it wasn't 19 hours like we originally talked about, because they launched it at 1:22 and they made it at 7 in the morning. So yeah, nowhere near the amount of time. But they were actually able to. They docked at around 8:16. So they had their soft dock and then the hard dock, and everyone got inside after about 3 hours. There were so many checks and gauges and everything to verify to make sure that their systems were solid and good to go, which are understandable. You can't blame them for that. But yeah, so there it is, right over there. See the adorable SpaceX. So the only complaint I have is that very unfortunately and very conveniently, as the Stage 1 booster came back down to the Earth, it was there, it was going, it was coming, video cuts out, it's landed. Shit.
Yeah, on the atomic barge.
Yeah, the floating tarmac. So I'm a little sad I didn't get to see that, because it already looks super fake every time, just because of how...
And now they have like a cut where it's just like, oh, here it is.
Yeah, and it landed! Surprise! So I was like, oh, shit! So, I'm really hoping the next one, they, NASA, and SpaceX, massive companies, can figure out how to keep a consistent feed, or maybe have 2 different video cameras going, possibly one further away of the thing landing. I would like that.
Yeah, it's probably because, like, that caused some sort of interference.
Yeah. So, I mean, do the best. I understand. Shit happens. So I just really want to see it. I want to see it, and I want to see it.
It was really cool, like, thing to watch, because like I was waited with like bated breath as it was launching.
Oh yeah.
I was like, all right, we're at this stage, and it's like, okay, we're at this stage.
I mean, it's wild when you look at the, especially with the new systems where they can actually track it through GPS and everything like they do. Looking at that and like really knowing they're traveling at 56,000 miles an hour.
And oh my god, their spacesuits just look so
awesome,
so slick, so well thought out,
so slick.
Know, it's just yes, so slick. Because like you can tell, like looking at the older suits, like where all their valves are gonna go. Yeah. But like everything's like hidden with like zipper compartments in the new stuff, which is kind of what you want to see.
It's like clean. It's spacey. Yeah. So yeah, super jazzed. Everything looks cool about it. Was it when the I think it was one of the cosmonauts that first went into the Dragon after it had docked. He said it had a new car smell to it, which was just fantastic. And I don't know. It's seeing the whole event and seeing everything. One of the guys obviously beat the hell out of his head coming through because everyone has brought that up because he's constantly
he's touching his head a lot.
A lot is like, so weird. Is he trying to wipe blood off? What's he doing? And my only guess is that he was coming into ISS and hit his head on something because when you look,
they're a little bit more like boxy and like perpendicular.
Oh, yeah. There's hard edges all over that place.
Hard edges just jut out at you, and you're just like, ew. Really excited to be here on the International Space Station. Fuck.
Bleeding. So, yeah, but that's pretty exciting. It was one of those things. There's just, I mean, I'm so jazzed, and I'm really excited for the demo too. That everything went really well, and that the next. It's just we're really progressing so much faster into the future. And I don't know, it was one of those moments that with the whole world feeling separated, that there was at least that one instance, I feel like we were all together focusing on this and just hoping that Bob and Doug made it. Mm-hmm. And, you know.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
Also, does anyone else, when they think Bob and Doug, like literally bob their head and Doug? Because I heard it so many times, probably 200 or 300 times over the live streams. It was just like Bob and Doug. It's stuck in my head permanently. But that's okay. I don't even know their last names. I just know Bob and Doug. I did. That's all gone. But, moving forward, we have to tell you about one of our awesome slick content providers, and that's Shell, with Shell Shock Cosplay. So, she couldn't be on the show tonight. She's beat! The world is starting to move back up to pace, and she's got a lot of work to do, and she's just getting her ass kicked. But that's okay, because we're here, and we're going to support her, because she gives us all kinds of fantastic stuff. And she does kick-ass cosplay like you're seeing right over there. Oh, there we go. That one. And yeah, so go check her out at Shell Shock Cosplay, and while you're doing that, head right over to Knights of the Tempest, her fantastic band of jousting, sword-fighting, equestrian warriors. So go to their website, Knights of the Tempest, or their Facebook, Instagram, Knights of the Tempest, and get updates for their upcoming shows. They are practicing right now, trying to keep it up, and not practicing to keep it up. They're practicing and to really keep up their act, so then give us the best show when they're available again. While you're doing that, and while you're here with us, head on over and just Google at SLYK Radio. And you can totally find us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and really just follow us all over the place. Be our stalkers. Kind of. Limited stalking. You can stalk us a little bit. You know, just enough. But yeah, so show some love. Go all of those places. Share us. If you could, invite your friends to like the page, because we want to be involved with everyone. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you guys. But moving forward, we have SlickTube.
Tube Slickers.
Perfect timing.
Hooray.
I don't know if the chat's giving me chat, or if we're just not getting a lot of chat.
We're probably just not getting a lot of chat.
Yeah, just not a lot of chat. That's okay. So, a lot of stuff happening in the world right now, so I don't blame anyone. But, SlickTube. Let me pour my beer. Beer. Lost my show notes. Bam! So, we had talked about this a while back, is that Kevin Smith was wanting to revamp and bring back He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Skeletor! And the like. Yeah. So, super excited for that one, but it became a bigger and even larger surprise to find out that Mark Hamill was going to be coming out of his voice acting retirement to do the voice of Skeletor for the new show that's going to be coming out, which is so exciting. Because, I mean, he has such an iconic voice, but doing voices like Skeletor or the Joker
just take a toll on his voice.
They're extremely damaging. So, that's it, Nate. Liz is on curfew right now. Yes, as we are as well.
And now, in about a minute?
9:59. It's going to turn. Curfew hits. Yeah, world is nuts. But yeah, so it's pretty cool, and especially for a voice like Skeletor that he's coming back to do that. Because, yeah, it's going to be rough, but it's going to be exciting because it's so cool. There's no set date right now for He-Man's and the Masters of the Universe Revelations, but we're excited. Also, was there a Dragon Ball GT movie called Revelations as well?
Revolution.
Revolution.
We don't talk about that, Bo. How dare you?
That's non-canon anymore, so it don't count.
Which Disney could make a Dragon Ball like movie because they have that right.
They do?
Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball Revolution was owned by Fox.
Balls.
And now Disney owns it.
Destiny owns it. Yeah,
wow.
So pretty crazy. Wow.
Is it 8:30 to 10 p.m. or a.m.?
Huh. Cindy says our curfew is lifted today for our town, but not the rest of the country. Yeah. So our current curfew in Colorado Springs is
10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yep, absolutely correct. So yeah, every one of the bigger cities is kind of during that curfew thing right now. Eric says Dolph Lundgren's going to play He-Man. I don't think that's going to happen again. Don't get me wrong. I like to sit down and watch that corny ass movie, but it is corny. But I don't know. It's one of those iconic ones. I think that when you enjoy it and you grew up with it, it's kind of great to go back to. Not quite like Pee Wee Herman, where you go back to it and you're like, wow.
I was high.
Yeah.
What's in those Flintstone tablets?
Some sort of drugs, I'm sure. Yeah. But
10 million bones and rolling.
What was the last thing Dolph Lundgren was in?
I think it's those one movies, Expendables.
Oh, you're probably right.
Where he was a good guy and ended up being a bad guy.
Let's see. Oh, he's still doing stuff. Nordic Light, Wanted Man, Without You, I'm Nothing.
Never heard of it, and never heard of it.
Castle Falls, The International. Oh, he's going to be in The International. Huh. He's going to be in the pilot episode, playing Anders Soto. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. That's very, very surprising.
Neither have I.
Huh. That was, wow. Okay. That just caught me off guard. Sorry. Yeah. So, where are we at now? Space Forks. Space Forks.
Space Forks. Use the forks.
Space Force aired on Netflix on Friday. I suggest you guys go check it out. It's pretty hilarious. So I've seen a lot of things, specifically Rolling Stone, that did an article that said Steve Carell is not very. This is a total miss because Steve Carell plays the similar kind of character to season 1 of The Office, where everyone just hated him and no one liked him. I'm like, I'm assuming at this point they watched 10 minutes of the first episode and said, fuck it, I'm done. Because the character progression is very quick in it, and you see a lot of stuff, and you see how he kind of falls into the character a little more. But I never thought of... we're on episode 7 right now, and I've yet to think of him
how
as...
many?
I don't know, I think like 12.
Okay.
Space Force episodes. 10. There's 10.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's good. And I like all the characters. I really enjoy... you got Phoebe Buffay from Friends is in it. She plays the wife, which was very surprising. But he's a good family man.
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich is fantastic.
Scientist.
I really enjoy his snarky asshole role. It's very well done and just makes me laugh. Liz says about the curfews. Yeah. Melissa, legit have never gotten around to watching The Office. You know what? You're not alone. JP, you've barely watched, 5 or 6 episodes of it randomly?
I've seen many episodes in out of order of many different times. I'm almost done with Parks and Rec. I'm like on season 5, episode 15 or something like that.
Fantastic. I'd be interested if you were to watch The Office after that to see how you like it.
God, I hate Michael so much. He's the worst.
It's alright. That's alright. But yeah, no, I really enjoy The Office, and one of the things I like the most about The Office is how real it feels. Because I've had those people I hate. I've been in the situations where I've made those dumb ass life choices. And I've spilled chili. So, it's just stuff happens, man. So
I suppose he's so dumb.
Oh, he is. And that's the thing I like about it, is it feels realistic. Because, it really, that's the kind of balance, is you have, most of the time it's either a really good boss or a boss that you kind of just want to curb stomp. And I don't know, I like how it fans out. But as far as Steve Carell playing Nerd in the new Space Force, it's really good. I mean, you can tell it's just one of those things where he's trying his hardest with what is Space Force. It's a little weird being in Colorado Springs and Space Force is oriented around NORAD, and then they're showing shots of it, and you're like, that's not NORAD at all.
Shh. The rest of the country doesn't know about that.
That looks nothing like it. I'm going to tell the world you're a liar.
Don't you
Big fat liar. But no, it's a good show, so I should suggest you guys check it out, see what you think about it, give me your opinion, because I want to know. Yes. Big news. So, Admiral Thrawn. You guys are fans of the Star Wars universe. You've probably either heard the name or have been very well involved in the character of Admiral Thrawn. So, the character himself is... he was the Admiral. Or, sorry, it wasn't the Admiral. Was it Admiral Thrawn?
Yeah, he was Admiral Thrawn.
No, he was the Imperial...
Inquisitor.
Yes. No, he wasn't an Inquisitor. He helped manage the Inquisitors. I don't know. He was a big dude. So he started out as a bit, and he had a whole bunch of interactions with Anakin Skywalker. And in certain points, if I'm remembering right, he isn't technically dead. He just got kicked out.
You never saw him die.
Yeah, so anytime you don't see anyone die, it means they're probably not dead. And so I'm kind of wondering if with this... so basically what's happening is Admiral Thrawn is going to be getting a live action. And with that, we're not sure what's going to happen as far as like what the time frame is, where it's going to be occurring. So Admiral Thrawn ends up taking over command of the Imperial forces 5 years after Return of the Jedi, following the death of, Darth Vader and the first time the Emperor died. So, so you end up in a situation, where he got pushed off and you didn't see him die, and now we're in an instance where possibly we could be interacting with him again, or we're going to be getting just, more story of him. But what makes me interested is that we have a chance that we might be getting more of a majority side of the Imperial side of it, which would make me happy, because you really don't have a lot of that.
No,
you get a lot of snippets. It's majority of the Rebel forces and the Jedi and everything like that. We really don't get a lot of the dark side of everything, which I would really appreciate more. I wish there was a dark side series. So, that would just be really big for me. It's what I want. It's what I'm hoping for. And we'll just see what comes out of that. Yeah. But, so no time frame on that. We're going to see what happens, see what comes out of it. But, what else we got? Oh, Invisible Man. Did you watch that yet, JP?
I have yet to watch it.
It is a good
I've
one.
I've seen the trailers, and, because of everything that has happened, I have yet to see this in theaters or at home.
That's all right. I do advise you check it out. It's really well done, and it's got really good acting in it. And it's not the standard, horror movie that a lot of people get burnt out on. I don't get burnt out on horror, but I do understand. So it's more in reference to the old Invisible Man. And I know we had talked about that, is that you were more savvy to the, Kevin Bacon Invisible Man.
Yes.
And different mindsets of it, not knowing that he was a creepy, evil, total dude in that one. So, and there's a few sides to it. So, and that's why I'm suggesting everyone go check that out, the newest Invisible Man. But what's really cool is with the success of that, Universal has decided they're going to pick up more of the classic characters. So, a.k.a. the Wolfman. Yeah. So, right now they have Ryan Gosling set to play the Wolfman in an up-and-coming film. They don't have a director yet. But they do have the script laid out, so we're looking at getting that probably pretty quick. And I'm definitely excited for that, because we get a lot more of the classics done in a new age. we end up with the Invisible Man, Wolfman, Nosferatu,
Didn't
Dracula,
they redo Dracula
Frankenstein.
recently?
They did, but it wasn't classic style. So that's the thing is
Didn't they do The Mummy as well with Tom Cruise? It didn't go.
that was not classic brought to new age.
They were trying to have like their own MCU with that stuff.
That felt
it end up
even from the trailer. So I haven't watched it yet. In all fairness, I'm making assumptions based
Neither
on the
have I.
trailer. But it looks like they had it was Mission Impossible with a mummy, which is not the Mummy.
An accurate description of the trailer.
So.
And it bombed.
Yes. Terrifically. So and I think that was kind of where they failed is The Invisible Man felt like the classic style as if it were written now. And that's what I'm hoping for this, and especially if they do stuff
more of a suspense thriller than in like a horror movie.
Which is what the classic ones were. They were suspense thrillers. They weren't the bloody gore movies. They were made to go, ooh, not
This guy's a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm excited for. Have you watched a lot of the older classics, at least semi-regularly?
Not semi-regularly. I think I may have seen them once, and then I'm just like, all right, move along. This isn't the movie you're looking for.
And that's fair. I mean, a lot of people, like me, when it came to like horror movies, I sat down and I searched them out, and I wanted to find them, especially when you had like the TNT movies that would come on, the horror movies that happened, every Saturday night. And I loved
but they would cut out the good bits.
They did. But, I mean, that's when I got to watch, like, Tremors and all those old classics.
Did you really like Tremors?
Yes. I still like Tremors. Me and Hannah are on Tremors 4. We were just watching all of them last weekend.
Oh, my God.
They're, like, tacky great. So, I don't know. Yeah. But so I'm excited for that. And really what this is leading into for my excitement is they redo Creature from the Black Lagoon. So, yeah, Hannah says they just get better, which they do. And actually, I have all the classics downloaded, so I may force you to come over in the scary times.
It's forcing me.
Yep. I'm gonna tie you down. I'm gonna make you watch them. I'm gonna put those little things from A Clockwork Orange in your eyes. Slowly drip stuff in them. Watch the horror. Enjoy the horror. So, I mean,
it's exciting to see those old like classic horror movie monsters come.
Yes.
Back.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. Have you watched? Have you watched? Sorry, I'm trying to do a whole bunch of different stuff at the same time. Have you watched like Evil Dead and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was one of the ones that I really enjoyed. From the TNT movie classics. I mean, you missed a lot of stuff. But, you still got the joy of it. But horror is all year. Thrillers all year. And it's fantastic. And quite honestly, it really... If you can, like separate yourself from, like, expecting what's going to be next, you kind of have to. Because they're all predictable. That's just the nature of horror. All horror movies, almost all movies are predictable if you sit down and overanalyze the damn things. But... I mean, it's one of those things that kind of helps separate you from what's happening in the world right now. So I think it'd be really good. And Hannah makes a great suggestion. We can drink mimosas first.
Cheers.
So, yeah. But super excited for that. We got a whole bunch of stuff that is coming out. I mean, I know all the big movies have been pushed, but the season's going to come back, and I know it, and... Hopefully, when all these theaters are opening, they're going to be maintaining some sort of distancing. I know it's going to be hard, but yeah, I'm excited.
It's gonna be.
So it's just interesting.
They could have had a thing where they're just like, oh yeah, we're doing it. We're just like outdoor theaters.
right?
Like,
This is
right
the
outside.
time when drive-in theaters should come back. Like,
And they can do it differently too, because they can have two movies going, and you can tune into whichever one you want to.
well, I mean,
So
and
it's
that's
like, oh, here's Batman, or here's Justice League, whatever,
yeah. So,
whatever you want us to do.
have you ever been to a drive-in, JP?
Yes, I have.
So the one down in Pueblo, it's 3 different theaters or 3 different screens. You know, you do the drive-in, they're each of those, and then you just tune into the radio station, and I mean it's really cool. So I mean there's no reason they couldn't do that. Something I saw that was interesting is the Broadmoor World Arena is going to be putting out tickets for a drive-in theater. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but I'm excited to find out how they're going to do that.
They'd have to build something.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, think about the fact that if they were to get some of their stage rigging and just do a big square and then put a screen on it, they have a drive-in theater.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Just put a tapestry over it, and it's like, there you go.
This is a castle. You got tapestries, don't you? I don't know why that's my favorite line from Indiana Jones, but it is.
Don't touch anything.
Liz says, JP, remember that drive-in theater right outside our subdivision? Miss that place.
Yeah. They closed it down because they were gonna put more houses on there, but they didn't. It just ended up being closed, and they're like, "Why the fuck did you close it down?" It was literally walking distance. Like, you walk 10 minutes and be at the drive-in theater.
Yeah, I'm sad they closed the one in the Springs. It used to be, 8th Street Walmart is.
Mm-hmm.
That was a drive-in theater.
Oh.
Now we have 8th Street Walmart.
Yeah, because drive-in theaters are kind of usually preserved for the outskirts of a town.
Yeah, well, I mean,
city.
Technically at the time that was the outskirt of the town.
Yeah, which is exactly what it was. And then it's just and Walmart's coming in. Pack it go.
So it's sad. Do what we gotta do. Hanging in life. But I do love drive-ins, and I'm excited for them to come back. The only problem is I want to go to them, but drive-in theater bathrooms are notoriously kind of gnarly. But if you wash your hands and there's not a bunch of people and you bring hand sanitizers, you might be fine.
Bring in your own porta potty. Don't look over here. I'm taking care of business.
Taking care of business every day. Yeah. So it could be interesting. And I don't know. I just all the movies that got put off this year, I'm really excited for them to come back in one way, shape, or form, even if they have to do a digital stream release. Because I mean, we've seen that with other movies where they kick butt. Yes, give us Mulan. Also, if you haven't seen Bloodshot, I've already said this once. Go watch it. It's really good.
Visually stunning. The storyline, Vin Diesel's acting. No one watches Vin Diesel movies for the acting.
Yeah,
but
fair.
yeah, it is very. It's an entertaining.
I like Vin Diesel's acting. I am saying that sentence. His acting. He's not a normal actor by any means.
It was very different because it's it's another superhero movie, but you expect Marvel, DC, but Valiant.
Yeah.
So it's something different. I liked it. The twist I never expected. There's a twist.
Yes. What a twist! Cindy says Colorado Springs had 3 when she was a kid, which I'm sad. Just one. Just one.
Yeah, but just give us one.
Dang it!
It doesn't even have to be a New Cinema Point. It could be on the opposite end, on the west side.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, there's enough places and enough old building area around here. They could knock it down, pave it, put up a screen, and be done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be awesome. I would be so happy with this.
I imagine the overhead for outdoor movie theater isn't as bad as an actual movie theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Liz says it was entertaining to watch the Outlander guy hide his accent. Yeah, Hannah said the same
It's
thing.
odd. It was odd. He was fighting it the whole time. I was like, just fucking.
Well, a lot of those are too, especially like some of those characters have really thick ones, like Karen Gillan. When you hear her and stuff, every once in a while you hear a little bit of Scottish peek through, or yeah, a lot of the British actors sometimes they'll pop out every
I
once in a
didn't
while.
really notice it in the Jumanji movies, though.
I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I may have.
It was few and far between, but I did notice it.
I may have been distracted by what she was wearing.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So, where we at? Oh, last segment. So this one's pretty big.
How big is it?
You can't ask me that on public television. But on a podcast, it's pretty major. So, with the sequel to The Labyrinth moving swiftly forward, they are looking at using Tilda Swinton, to JP's right, to replace David Bowie. Now, that is the heading and the phrasing of the article that I saw. I am desperately hoping that they are not going to replace David Bowie with Tilda Swinton so much as make her either his child.
A different character entirely?
Well, I don't think she needs to be a different... Well, yeah, different character. Yes, sorry. But she could be a child or a sibling, because, I mean, look at the comparison right there. Very similar faces. It's very different, but still very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the Goblin King has a unique look, so I don't think she should so much be replacing Jareth and David Bowie's role, but I think she would do well. I'm a fan of her acting.
As just being a relation. It's like, oh, I'm the cousin.
Anything at all. So I think that'd be really interesting, and I could totally get behind that, because like I said, she's a great actress. You guys probably know her from The Ancient One in Doctor Strange, and she also played Gabrielle in Constantine. So, I mean, she's been on all kinds of stuff. She was the old lady in the Grand Budapest Hotel. So
another underrated movie.
Yes.
But yes.
Extremely underrated. I watch that movie constantly. It's so good. Cindy says a sequel to Labyrinth. Leery. Wait, Leery? Leery? Oh, like Leery of it?
Yeah, Leery.
Okay, I was trying to imagine Dennis Leary as the role of the Goblin King, and it didn't work for me.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, and it's very understandable. But, I mean, and we talked about this, is that at least Jim Henson's kid is going to be involved with it, Brian Henson. So we're not losing... It's going to stay within the family. It doesn't mean he's not going to have different ideas. But he's already been involved with The Dark Crystal, and he was heavily involved with the other movies growing up. So he's part of the past, and he's part of the creation of the past movies. So I feel like there's a lot of positive outlook, especially if, they allow Jim Henson Films to kind of do a lot of the control and everything for it, and they're not getting a massive amount of influence from everything. Yeah. Cindy says yes, as in not sure it will fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got high hopes. It's happening. So it's one of those things. It's happening, so I'm going to be hopeful.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yes. Solid phrasing. Cautiously optimistic, and I really want it to do well, and I want it to become, a reasonable sequel to a classic.
The legacy of this beautiful man to this, a beautiful woman.
Yes.
It's just, I don't know. I'm hopeful.
Yeah. It's going to be a hard transition, but I think if they're not trying to replace the Goblin King, or if maybe they're going to say, yes, it's the Goblin King reincarnated or something. I don't know how they're going to do this, but I hope that they do it in a way that it still honors Bowie. Which, I mean, knowing Bowie, I feel, well, not knowing, knowing what he represented and everything about Bowie and everything you can learn from him without meeting him personally, I feel like he would support it. He would just, want it to be done right and done well and have as much flair and excitement that Bowie brought to literally everything he ever did. So, yeah. Yeah. He's dancing through the streets. Hannah says, I think she'll pull it off. I'm into it. So, yeah. Are you into it or not into it? Because I am.
I support it.
Most
definitely. Like, Tilda Swinton is a great actor. Mm-hmm. And, I think she would do whatever role she's given in well. With, happening with the Labyrinth. I was just she almost seems like she would fit. If the Labyrinth was casted again, she would be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not worried about her.
So, yes, but we're excited for that. No time frame as to when that's going to be coming out, but it is coming down the pipeline. And I don't know. I want it to happen sooner than later. I'm very jazzed about it because Labyrinth is just one of those fantastic movies. In fact, probably going to watch it tomorrow. In the midst of trying to figure out how to rebuild a wheel for my bike. I know a lot of people don't understand that, but if anyone hears this and
start with a circle,
you'll understand what I'm going through. And circles are hard.
I can't build a circle.
I'm crying so much. So, yeah. Anyways, high hopes about Labyrinth 2, and it's not called Labyrinth 2, it's called Labyrinth something.
Electric Boogaloo.
Labyrinth 2, Electric Boogaloo. Exactly that. So, yep. But that's it for Slick Tube. Next section, the Craft Brew.
In review.
Yeah. Oh, Kathy makes a good point. Sequel, prequel. So I guess if it were a prequel, that could also do well. If it was just a different age of the Goblin King.
Then you'd have to get a young David Bowie in.
I don't know. It's a hard one.
I don't know. Whatever. I'll watch it regardless of what they put out.
True. As long as the trailer doesn't look anything like, Sonic did.
The Sonic movie that we watched, I liked it.
Dude, the new Sonic, that was fantastic. It was very well done. But I hopes. Craft Brew Review. So we have been drinking from Four Sons Brewing Company, the PB&K. What is the K?
I don't know. It doesn't. There's no descriptions of it. I tried to find it, and I was just there's just Four Sons Brewing, which does not have this beer on there whatsoever.
What is the K is for? I don't know. Currants are spelled with a C.
Kilo.
Unknown answer. But I can say one thing for sure. It's delicious. Ketamine. It's ketamine.
Yes. 100% ketamine.
Totally. So, I mean, it at least will be nice and happy and go lucky in a little bit, right? But the beer is delicious. It's fantastic. It's very fruity without being too sugary. It's definitely a sour. That first taste hits you real quick, but it mellows out really well, so you get a full expanse of flavors. I don't really get the peanuts.
Yeah, not at all for me.
So,
but I'm not allergic to peanuts, so it's oh yeah, this definitely has peanuts. I can feel my throat being closed right now.
So, I'm not sure where the peanut flavor is, but in all honesty, so the name doesn't totally match what I was expecting the flavor profile to be.
Neither do I.
but it's still a very delicious beer.
As a sour, I don't know.
So, I mean, I'm picky about the sours. I very much so, but I really do enjoy it. And in reference to other sours I've had, it's very delicious. So I'm going to sit at about a 4. The only reason I'm not rating it higher than a 4 is because the name doesn't match. This is not a PB&J-esque drink.
What does the K stand for?
I don't know.
Yeah, as me standing it as a sour against all the other sours that I've tasted, 3.
Yeah.
Like, I can't quite place it, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, which is
From,
fair.
like-
I mean, and that's understandable. For me, it's kind of a light raspberry sour. But yeah, I mean, it could have done better, and I would have. I don't know. Maybe if you got a little more of that dry peanut butter flavor right at the end of the taste, it might have made the profile a little more unique. But still, as a 3 and a 4, we're giving it a 3.5. That's a pretty damn good score from us here at Slick Radio.
But why?
Why? It's because we post them on Untapped. Like, oh my god.
Like, oh my god.
It's so good. If you guys want to follow us on there, we're at SLYK Radio, because you can go on there, follow us, and get your suggestions of beers to us, from us, for us, and see all the beers that we've had in the past. It is most delicious. Oh, burp. But yeah, so follow us on there. You can follow JP on there at
J Pizzletron.
And you can follow Shell on there at Shell Shot Cosplay. I think. Shell Shot Cos. Cos, that's what she wanted it to be. Oh, so good. Anyways. It's weird to think about how many of the weird faces I make are in the internet forever. It is forever. So yeah, but that's the beer review. 4.35, pretty damn good, from Four Sons Brewing PB&K. If you guys are listening who make this beer, put a little more peanuts in it, please. I'd appreciate it. Peanuts, not the other thing. But yes, so follow us on Untapped. But you know what, guys? That's it for the show. Holy crap-a-moly, Batman. You're gone quick. But yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget, we put out new episodes every Thursday, 9:30 Mountain Standard Time, right here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at SLYK Radio.
And when you see us roll through your feeds, make sure to finger box that subscribe button, smash them likes, and become one of our Sly Knights.
Ooh, so like you know is not responsible for anything ever.
Produced by Slick Solutions somewhere in Colorado.
And Slick Radio's completely weightless.
Like your opinion.
Just kidding.
You care.
And if it isn't wildly apparent at this point, your government doesn't. We love you guys. Have an absolutely fantastic week. Try to keep your hopes up. And remember, when everything's bad, there's still a little bit of good. So, do your best. We love you all. We support you all. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye-bye. Yeah.